We are sandwiched between Fort Worth and Dallas, Texas, in Arlington at the luxurious AT&T Stadium. Obviously, they do everything big here in Dallas, and the introduction to the Cowboys, no exception. They're set for football in Big D as their guys will do battle with the Miami Dolphins. It's an Indian summer afternoon. Perfect conditions for football, and off we go on EA Sports. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
They'll run with a second-year man from ASU, Kalen Ballage. Some fancy footwork, but not much room to operate. Just up past the 25 and no further. Xavier Woods, the free safety, up to make the tackle.
It's now 2nd and 6.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Now Ballage. Jeff Heath, the one to bring him down.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. On 3rd down, Rosen. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
Good starting position for the Cowboys here as they come up 1st and 10. They run with Ezekiel Elliott, last year's NFL rushing leader. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36. For Zeke, what a first 3 years he's had in the NFL. Last year, his 2nd rushing title, 1,434 yards. Not as many as 1,631 that he had as a rookie, but still his yards per game average was the best in the National Football League. Looking for his tight end, Witten, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jerome Baker. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. Well, not a good omen there. His first throw of the afternoon, intercepted.
And I know what the fans are thinking right now. I hope there's not negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. But one of the things I remember about him coming out of school is he's able to wipe things away pretty easily and move on.
Now an open man. That's the tight end, Gesicki. It's complete. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
5 yards on 1st down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on 2nd.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
That's caught by Parker. And he's going to get this inside the 30. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a 1st down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
And now it's Rosen looking. This one into the hands of the running back, Balaj. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll make this a 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now Rosen looking to throw. It's complete. Stills. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. 12 yards there and a 1st down.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. Here's Rosen. Stepping up, he's going to, and he will score. Touchdown, Miami. Josh Rosen, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Extra point hugged the upright a bit, but he gets it to go. And that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They had the interception last time. It led to the opening touchdown. So now 7-0 the score as they start 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
At the 29-yard line.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. On the counter, Elliott. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
A loss of a yard on the play brings up 3rd and 7.
Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Started the 2nd quarter, and it's the Cowboys in possession. They'll need to convert a 3rd and 7, though, to start things out. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Rashad Jones. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
After the interception, here's Rosen. An incomplete, crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And he hurdles him and into space. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Kenyon Drake. His 1st touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that'll make the score 14-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line.
The Cowboys take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points get that 0 off the board. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Throwing. Prescott. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. Well, using Zeke Elliott in the passing game, that's something Cowboy fans are getting used to. Last year, 77 receptions. And you think back to his rookie season, he had 32 and then 26 his second year. But he's really on the uptick. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Prescott. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. And he's got another 1st down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 41-yard line.
Now, that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3. This is Elliott. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a 1st down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They keep on the ground with Elliott. A big hitter there, a 1st down gain of 26 yards.
I can say this from experience, especially from a defensive back's perspective. There's not many things more terrifying than a toss sweep or a pitch play and all that beef out in front of the runner.
Yeah, I had an old coach say 3 words on those plays. And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. Ezekiel Elliott, his 6th touchdown of the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26.
Middle.
They run it with Balaj. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33. We've hit the 2-minute mark in the second quarter, 14-7. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Balaj. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy who can take it the distance. But in short yardage, trying to pick up 1st downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
Just like that. Just like that.
They'll look to throw on 1st down to Josh Rosen. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
After the sack on 1st down, Rosen under pressure again, and down he goes again. Off the edge, it's Tyrone Crawford with a sack.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half.
Ain't no such thing as a loss. We taking wins home.
Now Rosen on first down. And over the middle, this is Parker. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now Rosen. And Stills over the middle. And he'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. From the red zone now, here's Rosen on first down. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Bobby McCain. Cooper was the target there. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Right back to Drake. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. You know they'd love nothing more than to get a 3 and out here after having the interception.
And it also tells you a little bit about how they feel about their leader, right? Their quarterback throws an interception in the previous series. They're trying to help him out here with a big stand.
Here's a run with Balaj. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. Kalen Balaj. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Dolphins use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And it's now 21-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11. They go to Elliott again. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. 10th carry now for Elliott. A great effort there to shed the contact, and it helps him pick up the first. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches. 2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10.
Watch out, watch out.
They'll try to throw now. Prescott eluding the pressure right. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
Strong right, strong right.
Draw play, Elliott. And he's got some space here. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A gain there of 21 yards. So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. And a give this time to the tailback. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll in fact tackle him behind the line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14. Now Prescott. They'll set up the screen to Elliott. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. Really in a hole here, 3rd and 17 following the 2 negative plays. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Rashad Jones. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. From the 32 now. Here's 1st and 10.
Hey, man. Watch the boot, watch the boot.
Running, it's Drake. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Now, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Slam.
On 2nd down, it's Drake. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Check. Watch the before. Here we go.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Rosen. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, we were having a tough patch. This too shall pass. This too shall pass.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Bobby McCain. And he will score. Touchdown, Miami. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This one fielded at the 5. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Prescott from the gun. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. The Cowboys will go. Prescott. And it is incomplete. Jason Garrett might be wanting to reconsider the decision to go for it there. And the Dolphins get the football in great field position. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Tight end to the right, boy. Tight end to the right. Move.
Here's Rosen to throw. They'll set up the screen to Drake. No gain on the screen there. It's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10.
Hard. 55.
Rosen will throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Out of the gun, here's Josh Rosen. It's complete to Drake. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the 1st down marker. Well, the returns for the Cowboys on Leighton Vander Esch have been pretty good so far. You know, a lot of Cowboy Nation questioned when they took him number 19 overall a season ago instead of Calvin Ridley. But Leighton Vander Esch would get 140 tackles last year, franchise rookie record for Dallas, en route to a Pro Bowl appearance. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This will be taken in at the 1. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And on that last drive, went for it on fourth, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held him to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on fourth down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
I think this one offensively, this is one where you just say, let's move on. Let's not even watch the game tapes from this one.
Yeah, you might just want to throw it in the trash, act like it was never there in the first place.
Yeah, just say we're good. I actually have heard of a coach in the past who took his team out to the practice field and ceremonially buried the game films from the prior game when they got clobbered. That was his way of putting it behind them.
And they pick up 25 as they convert on third. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far at second down. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. And again, it's Prescott. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 40. On 1st and 10, Prescott. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. To try again after the sack, Prescott. Escaping the pressure right. This is Cobb with a catch right side. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Another pass attempt, another incompletion, and they're just a little over 100 yards passing here in this game, so defensively, pretty good job.
Definitely, because they were never really able to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, so a lot of credit to the defensive game plan, and especially the execution.
To throw is Prescott. And now here is another interception. Picked off at the 24, and he'll bring this one back to the 29. Intended that time for Cooper. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Brings up 2nd and 8 at the 30-yard line.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
I know he ain't got it. 36. Hey, alert.
They stay on the ground with Drake. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. The Dolphins on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for the Dolphins, they're into the win column now as they move to 1-2 on the young season. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, they suffered defeat for the first time as they dropped to 2-1. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in New Orleans against the Saints. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.